Don't close the door. Let's go, open the door. Open the door. Okay. Okay, lovely. Let's get cracking now with our stuff. So I'll make sure my phone switch to vibrate. Okay, factorizing by the difference of two squares. So what we have here, I need something to lean on. So when we have, for example, x squared minus y squared, if we have anything written in that format, okay, sorry. If you have any question written in that format, it can be factorized in a very special way. The special way is like this. So you copy everything down, minus the squares. You write it again, turn the second one into plus. And it's as simple as that. If anything is the format of one something squared minus something else squared, this is called the difference. The difference comes from the minus. The difference of two squares, then they factorize in that very particular nice lovely way, x minus y and x plus y. So let's have a look at an example. So let's look at question number 1. So we have x squared minus 4. So you might be thinking, oh, well, sir, we can see the first one is squared. How is the second one squared? So Eliza, join me now. Please unmute and join me. Okay, Eliza. So in the question I've just written now, I can see the similarity between this and this. But where is the similarity between this one and that one? I can't really see it. I can't see a squared, something squared. So is this the right example to using, or are we missing something?
Well, we're missing a squared on the second question.
Okay, so how can we put the squared in there? So what is 4 in reality? 4 is something squared. Then if you want to write a 4 as a squared number, how would you write it?
2 squared.
Fantastic, there we go. So we have to rewrite the question. There we go. So can you see now your 2 square numbers?
Yeah.
Is it now obvious to us what the square numbers are, yes?
Yeah.
So x squared minus 4 has got a hidden squared number in there. It's actually 2 squared. So we're going to rewrite our original question. Oops. Original question into the one that we're going to, now we can work on this question, the working question. So x squared minus 2 squared. Now, the rule says it'll be x minus y. So we've got to drop down the x, drop down the minus, and drop down the y value, which is 2. And as I said earlier, we have to repeat this in the second bracket, but we need to change the minus into a plus. And amazingly, we've finished the question. That is all the question entails. There's nothing more to that question. X squared minus 4 can be written in a factorized format in the part that's been underlined in red as x minus 2 brackets, x plus 2. Normally, you would never think of it being written like that, but this special format of it being x squared minus 4 has this pattern of how we factorize it. So x minus 2, x plus 2. And if you wanted to test and to see whether there's any sense in this, let's multiply it out. So let's check it. Let's write down x minus 2, x plus 2, and multiply it out. See if you do get back to that. So x times by x is x squared. X times by plus 2 is plus 2x. Minus 2 times by x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times by plus 2 is minus 4. So these two give you 0. And we're left with this. So we can see by actually multiplying out our answer, we get back to our question. So that particular method does work, where we convert a difference of 2 squares into a factorized format following this particular format over here. Okay, lovely. Well, let's have a look at another question now. Okay, thank you for that, Eliza. Let's do one more question with you before we move on to another student. Let's have a look at question number 4. So question number 4, we have 4z squared minus 49. So to the obvious, I mean, when you look at it straight away, you can't see the square numbers all in there, but there are 2 more square numbers which are kind of hidden. So how would we rewrite this in the format of x squared minus y squared?
Would you do for z?
So what's 4 then? We said 4 was something before. What was 4?
2.
2 squared. And what's 49? Which square number is 49 in disguise?
7.
7 squared. Now, how can we write this bit here more simpler? The 2 squared z squared.
You just write 2z.
2z squared. So 2 squared z squared can be simplified as 2z, all of it squared.
Okay.
Yeah, so now if you think about it from our original format, which is x minus or x squared minus y squared, well, there you go, there's my x, and there you go, there's my y. So it'll be 27 minus, sorry, not 27.
That's not, yeah, that's a Z.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a z, sorry about that. It's supposed to be a z there, okay. 2z, let's write that better, minus y. Write it out again exactly the same, but change the minus into a plus, and we finish that question. So you've got to be able to identify the square numbers. You've got to be able to simplify the square numbers and to make it so it follows the format of x squared minus y squared. So this is now x minus y. Okay, get rid of that. Let's go into our original x minus y times by x plus y. Done. So there's our answer. This is the answer here. Finished. Okay, Eliza, thank you for that. Okay, Layla, next question, please. Let's do another 1-2 more examples before we let you loose on some of the questions. Okay, Eliza, for you, sorry, Layla, for you, I'd like you to do question number 7, first of all, followed by, let's give you something a bit more exciting. Okay. So, right, how do we factorize this?
Square root of 36 is 6. And then the x squared, yeah. And then the square root of 1 is just 1.
So how do you write the next line?
And then you have to write, you put 6 and the x in like brackets, and then put squared around it. And then minus 1 squared. And then plus on the other one. Yeah.
Okay, so you can solve these as well. These equations, similar to what we were doing before. Yeah, 1 minus 1 plus. Okay, you just copy it out twice, you reverse the sign, equals 0. Okay, and the next question I had for you was x4 minus 1. Off you go. So what is this one?
So, is it x squared?
And the rest of it?
Yeah, minus 1.
It's x squared squared
Squared. Oh.
minus.
Minus 1 squared.
Yeah, so what goes into the brackets now?
Is it x squared? X squared minus 1. And then x squared add 1
Done?
equals 0.
There you go. So they're asking us just to factorize them. If you had to solve them, that'll be one extra level where you got to make the brackets equal to 0 for the moment. 2z. Okay. Okay, now I want to go back to a question and nobody spotted it. I've put the letters in there by mistake here. That shouldn't be there. It should be the number. I was copying my annotation across. It should be this number. I'll put the letter by mistake in there, the letter from the actual algebra. Nobody spotted that, but that's what that should be. 2z minus 7 and 2z plus 7. Okay, so we have now factorized it. Now, if we wanted to solve these equations, well, how would we solve them? So let's go back. We had x, where's one? We had 2z minus 7 and 2z plus 7 equals 0. We had x minus 2 and x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, and we have 6x minus 1. I'm just going back to our questions that we've just done. So I'm trying to think about how we do the next bit now. I don't know if there's enough space there. Let me just grab something. That's better. So, how do you solve these equations that we just done? So let's have Layla, before you disappear and go off into in the classroom. Right? How would you do the first question?
You have to do z squared, like you have to.
What do we do?
2z minus 7.
So we have to make it, in order to solve these equations, what's the idea?
That you do both of the equations and then multiply them.
No. Once you factorize the question, how did you solve last week's equations? What was the idea?
You have to change the from plus to minus. Wait.
That was right. That was the last week's question. This week is a little bit different because you got 2 in there as well. The idea is to make each bracket equal to 0.
Oh.
So that was the actual main concept. We're going to make each bracket equal to 0 in order for the answer to be 0. So if 2z minus 7 equals 0, what's z going to be?
2z equals 7 equals 0. 7, 3.5.
Yeah. Do you see what I've done?
Yeah. Divide by 2.
So what I've done there is, in this particular question, it's not really, you can't just look at the answer and say, oh yeah, I can see the answer, like in the previous week's work. But we had x minus 7, so say the answer is x plus 7. Now you actually got to do some work. Salia, how would you do the next one? So we have to make each bracket equal to 0. And we've got to work out the value of z. So how do you do that? You opposite add 7 is, and then opposite time by 2 is. So you got to do in the proper order. So you'll have minus 7 over 2. So z is equal to. So what do you call this bit here? This bit is called the solving, or the actual called the solutions. So z equals that and z equals that. Okay, right. The next question. Okay, x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, thank you for that, Layla. Let's have Eliza. How do you solve that one? That looks similar to last week's work.
So you have to make them equal 0. So the first one would be plus 2.
Yeah, this one we could just do by observation. Opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. Opposite of plus 2 is?
Negative 2.
Done. So that one's a straightforward one. We could just do it just by looking at it, by observation. Okay, Asadullah, the next one's yours. Thank you, Eliza.
Yeah. What would this be? Plus 1 and
well, if you think about it, this bit here is minus 1. This would be, there will be what?
Plus 1.
So plus 1 minus 1 gives you 0. If this bit here is plus 1,
that'll be minus 1.
then this bit here, well, it has to be minus 1.
Minus.
That's like a quicker way of looking at it. So you just got one step to do now. So x is equal to?
1/6.
And x is equal to?
1/6 minus 1/6.
Done. Well, we can solve them as well. Okay, now it's your turn to do some questions now in the class. Right. Okay. The first line is nice, straightforward ones. So let's have a go at these. Okay, have a go at the highlighted questions for me, please. Questions 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 to 18. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes on the timer. Huh? The one that highlighted? Can you see the highlighted questions for you? Yeah. Go. Anybody needs help, ask for help. So let's have Abdullah, please. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
And then we're going to have, we did that one. So 9x squared minus 100 equals 0. And we're going to have 4. We do 4p squared minus 1. No, we didn't. 4p squared minus 1 equals 0. And we're going to have 36x squared minus, I think that'll probably be enough for us for recap for now. So let's zoom in.
You've
X.
already done that one?
Are we doing x squared minus 4?
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave that one. Are we doing this one?
Yeah, we're doing it now.
Okay, let's do that now with me then. Come on then.
Okay, so obviously you need to square root the 16, so it'd be minus 4, and then the y2 would just come down.
So remember, 16 is 4 squared in disguise. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now we copy down the y, we copy down the y and the 4. We write it out twice. We change the minus into a.
Plus.
Now we need to work out these solutions. So if we're going to solve them, we do the opposite of minus 4 is?
Add 4.
So that means this one has to be add 4. Add 4 minus 4 gives you 0. Next one's going to be opposite add 4 is?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. So not only have we started the question, we've changed it into its square number format, then we've put it into its factorized format, and then we've solved it. So we've done 4 steps there. Fantastic. Let's move on to the next question. X squared minus 25. What happens? Yeah.
So like when the x squared just drops down, and then 25 is 5 squared.
In disguise, yeah. And then what do
Yeah.
we drop down? The x and the minus and the
5.
okay. And then we rewrite it exactly the same, but we change the second minus into a
Yeah.
plus. And then what do we do then? We solve it. So we do the opposite of minus 5 is?
Add 5.
And then the opposite of add 5 is?
Minus 5.
Okay, done. Question. The question now with the square number that was disguised being shown, putting him into its factorized format and solving it. Lovely. Right, okay, thank you for that, Abdullah. Next, Asadullah, your turn. Unmute.
Yeah. So you'll square root 9x squared, so that'll be 3x, and you'll square root minus 100, that'll be 100, that would be 10 squared.
So the 9 is 3 squared, x squared, and the 100 is really 10 squared in disguise, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, now how do we write this more simpler?
You write in brackets.
Go on then.
So it'll be 3 squared brackets squared.
So it'll be 3x whole squared.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying it's slightly incorrect there now. What we copy down into the brackets?
You write 3x minus 10, and you write 3x plus 10.
So now we have to solve it.
Yeah, so you'll do 10 divided by 3.
So first of all, look here, this is minus 10. So this
Yeah.
has to be plus 10
Yeah.
because minus 10, add 10 gives you 0. We got to make the brackets to 0. So we say here now that 3x is equal to plus 10.
10.
So x is equal to,
10 over 3.
we just leave it out for the moment, that's fine. And the next one, if this one is plus 10, then this
So
bit
that'd be
here has to be
minus,
what?
minus.
10.
So it'll be
3x
minus
equals
10
minus
over
10.
3.
Done. So this particular question had a few more extra lines of working out because we had extra work to do. So we had to change this line into this bit. Then we had to solve it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of working out in this particular question. Okay, one more question for you. This one here, go.
So you square 4p squared, that'll be 2p squared.
Okay,
And then
and at the moment everybody's using the word we square root 4p squared. I haven't mentioned that at all in any of my kind of explanation to the notes that we square root 4p squared. We're not doing 4p squared square rooted. We are looking inside the number 4 and seeing what is the hidden square number. So the number 4 is made up of 2 squared. Okay, and then we also have p squared. So I haven't used the word square root really for the explanation of what's we're converting the 4, which is a square number, into its raw form. Okay, what about 1? What is 1 as a square number?
1 squared.
There you go. Now how do we simplify this 2 squared p squared? Sounds like a math book.
You write in bracket. You write in brackets.
Go on then.
So it'd be 2 squared, and then it'd be 2p squared squared.
That's better. 2p all squared minus 1. So what do we drop down now?
Bracket.
Into the brackets.
So it'd be 2p minus 1 and 2p plus 1.
So now how do we solve them? Remember, solving is all about making each bracket equal to 0. So this part here is already minus 1, this last part. So that means this part must be equal to plus 1. Because plus 1 minus 1 is 0.
Yeah.
So we can say 2p is equal to
1.
Or we can say 2p minus 1 equals 0. Either way you can do it. So then we can say now that p is equal to
2 over 1. 1 over 2.
Okay, the next one. So if we have for the next one that this part is plus 1,
it'd be minus.
so that means 2p must be equal to minus 1.
Yeah.
So
it'd be minus
1
over 2.
Opposite term by 2 is divided by 2. So there's your two solutions. So 4p squared minus 1 equals 0. That gives us that. That's done. Okay, so folks, as you can see, there's quite a bit of working out. So you need to kind of pay attention in the class and look at how we're doing the classwork, and you need to put that into your homework. I'm looking at homework and I can't see the resemblance between homework and classwork with the students in my class. The students just go off and start doing their own freestyle, like you have a freestyle journalist just doing anything they like. You try not to do anything you like. Try to do the things that we teach you in the lesson. Okay, Asudullah, last one.
So square root of 36 will be 6 squared x squared, then minus 5 squared, and then you put in brackets, so it'll be 6x squared minus 5 squared, and then you put in brackets, so it'll be 6x minus 5, and then it'll be 6x plus 5, and then you say, so 6x equals to
5.
5.
Because the other half of the bracket is minus 5. So it's got the 6x, that part must be equal to plus 5, because plus 5 minus 5 is nothing. And on this side here, because we already have plus 5 on the right, then the 6x must be equal to minus 5, because the minus 5 added together with the plus 5 will give you the 0. So how do we work out the x now?
So then it'll be x equals 5/6.
So opposite term by 6 is divide by 6.
So it'll be 5/6.
So opposite term by 6 is divide by 6.
Minus 5/6.
There you go. So don't worry about getting fractional answers, negative fractional answers. Don't think you've automatically done something wrong. We're doing mathematics, and in mathematics we can have those answers. So don't always hope and expect a nice, lovely, juicy, positive or negative integer. You can have positive and negative fractional answers as well. So be ready for that. Okay, folks, I hope we've kind of got that topic, we've hit it. I'm going to leave a few questions for you guys to do for homework, which will probably be the remaining questions, which we haven't done right now. So I'll probably highlight them in a different color. So this will be part of the homework. Okay, that just looks. Okay, all right, I'm going to end this. Okay, is everybody happy with that? Put your hands up next to your name to say that you're happy with that. Or what we're going to do now, now that we've learned how to factorize the difference of two squared question, how to deal with the more complex questions, how to solve them as well. Now remember, this solving that we're doing now is a continuation of last lesson solving, but it's just taking that little bit one step extra, where you got like a number in there, you got to think about a little bit more, got one or two little bit extra steps in it, but it's initially it is actually the same thing, but we just got a little bit more meat on it on the question. Okay, thank you for that, whoever took part in the explanation of those questions. We're going to stop this video now because that's the end of this particular topic, and then we're going to move on to the new topics we have.